What happens when you stop reacting? Reclaiming your power by choosing response over reaction. The energy shift you didn't see coming. It's subtle at first. The space between what happens and what you do about it. A pause, a breath, a moment when you realize, I don't have to react to this. Not right now. Maybe not at all. And just like that, the world doesn't control you the same way anymore. When you stop reacting, you're no longer dancing to someone else's rhythm. You found your own. Reactions are often rooted in old wounds. We react when we're triggered, when something pokes an old bruise, a raised voice, a passive aggressive comment, a boundary crossed. Without even thinking, we jump in to defend, to explain, to correct, to fix. But what if that reaction isn't helping you? What if it's just replaying an old survival pattern that's no longer serving you? Stopping the automatic reaction doesn't make you weak. It makes you free. What stops when you stop reacting? The endless emotional tug of war, the draining cycle of over-explaining or proving your worth, the guilt that comes after an outburst you didn't want to have, the feeling of being controlled by someone else's mood. When you stop reacting, you no longer give instant access to your peace. You protect it. Not with silence that's cold, but with space that's sacred. What starts when you stop reacting? Clarity. You see the situation more clearly without the emotional static. Power. You decide if and how you want to respond. Emotional mastery. You realize your feelings are valid, but they don't need to run the show. Healing. You start noticing your triggers, not feeding them. Stopping the reaction isn't about suppressing your truth. It's about expressing it on your terms and when you're centered, not hijacked. You stop being so easily hooked. When someone tries to bait you with sarcasm, manipulation, or guilt, your silence is not weakness. It's strength. Because you're no longer handing over your emotional energy just because someone knocked on the door. You don't owe anyone instant access to your thoughts, your time, or your heart. You're allowed to pause, to think, to choose. That's not avoidance. That's self-respect. You get to witness instead of absorb. One of the most powerful shifts is this. You go from absorbing everything to witnessing it. You hear what they say, you feel what you feel, but you don't automatically internalize it or react from it. That little pause, that breath before the storm, is everything. It's the moment you stop bleeding out energy for things that don't deserve it. You don't let silence mean defeat. Let's be honest. When you're used to defending yourself, staying silent can feel like losing. But you're not losing. You're leading yourself back to peace. Sometimes silence is the loudest answer. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, I'm not engaging with this the way I used to. I've changed. That's not apathy, that's growth. Final thoughts. The power in the pause. You don't always have to react. You don't always have to respond right away. And you never have to prove your worth through emotional gymnastics. When you stop reacting, you stop being pulled in 100 directions. You come home to yourself. That's where your peace lives. That's where your clarity waits. That's where your power begins again. If this reflection brought you a moment of peace or insight, please consider liking the video and subscribing to Purely Voiced. Your support helps this space grow and reach more hearts that need it.